Alright, so in this tutorial we're going to take a look at creating a foot controller, and that's going to control the way our character banks. So right now, if you select the root of your character, he should be able to squat without any issue. If you move the heel around, you can see that the foot kind of goes with it, or definitely goes with it. The issue though is with a foot controller we can zero it out, and we can actually use that to sort of control or know or remember where our character is foot position is in the universe. So for example, when I go to create NURBS primitive circle and I drag it out to the back of the foot, you'll notice it has all of these numbers in here, these translations, but I can easily go to modify and freeze transformation and it zeroes it out. So example, if I want to move this over here and I want to set a key, if I don't like the placement of that, I can always just type in a 0 here and return it to its original position. With the controller that we created, I can't zero these out. Like I can't, if I go to modify and freeze transformation, nothing happens. So we actually have to sort of constrain this controller to a foot controller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my front view, and I want to just sort of make sure that it lines up with that center line of my foot controller here. Okay. Now a trick that I normally do is I hold V down and I snap it. Let's go ahead and hide Leo for a second so you can see that better. I snap it to the center of my foot controller. So I'm going to hold V and I just snap it like that. Then I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate it. Then I hold V again and I snap it to the center of that controller. And then I just shift them back. Because remember, the center of our controller is the base of the floor. So now our two NURBS circles, which are here, are on the base of the floor. Alright, so let's go ahead and what I might do is scale these down a little bit, each one, because they seem a little big. I don't want them overlapping. Let's bring them a little closer. But remember, our Leo model has big feet, so we want to make sure that it's not cutting into the geometry, so we'll move that back. Okay. So what I'm going to do on each one, and again I probably will have to reduplicate this because I'm going to add a ton of attributes to this that I'm going to actually eventually just copy over to this. You know what? For practice we'll do each one separately. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go to modify, freeze transformations, and I'm going to rename this L_foot_CTRL. Now what we want to do is start adding some attributes to our foot controller. So we can go up to Modify, Add Attribute, here. And we get a dialog that pops up. Now we want to do integers, which are any whole number. And for the name of this attribute that we're going to add, I'm just going to call that foot roll. Okay? And the minimum value is going to be 0 and the maximum value is 10. I'm going to go ahead and hit add there. Okay. What you'll notice is we have a foot roll in there. When I middle mouse, I can type in numbers of 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 0, but not past 10. All right. Let's go ahead and decide what's going to be controlled by this NURBS circle. So what we want to go to is Animate, Set Driven Key, Set. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Shift on that so that it adds it here. Now when you do that, this brings up this options box here. Now our driver is going to be this NURBS circle. So I'm going to select this NURBS circle and I'm going to click Load Driver. It appears here. And what I want to drive the animation is this foot roll attribute that we added earlier. Okay. Now for driven, we want it to be this reverse foot controller. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Load Driven. And you'll notice that it selected just that heel. So you want to select whatever it is the bone that you want to do the foot roll for. Okay, so right now our foot roll is set at 0, and I want that to be the relaxed position here. When I go to 10, I want the foot to roll up on its heel. So for example, if the Leo model is doing any kind of animation, like we're doing a walk, I want to be able to select that foot roll and move it so it does that. So right now, with the foot roll selected, I'm going to go ahead and hit E, and what you'll notice is the Z-axis is the axis that I have to move to key it. So right now that's at 0 and the foot roll is at 0. So as long as I have foot roll selected here, I don't have to have this selected anymore. It already knows that the L foot controller is what needs to be driven, and rotate Z on this is what I want to key. So I'm going to go ahead and hit click key that. Next thing is I'm going to select this and change this to 10. And then I'm going to select this guy and I'm going to rotate it up. We can go pretty high. It really doesn't, I mean, it just kind of, you don't want to go too far where it breaks the grid. And then I'm going to hit key. Now what you'll notice is when I bring foot roll down to 0, you can see it creates that. So what we're eventually going to do is we're going to actually parent this to this. So when we move this around, it'll actually move the foot controller around. And so if we have a character and we took a step and we move to foot roll, I can actually set the foot roll all the way to 10 or 0. So let me go ahead and undo that so that it goes all the way back. Okay, so that's the foot roll. So let's look at adding a couple more attributes. Let's go to modify, add attribute. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is create a toe raise. So when we select the beginning of our reverse foot controller, that toe, and we hit E, we get a nice toe raise. And this is important for, again, we're kind of really building a rig to do walks and runs and jumps. So what I'm going to do is name this one toe raise. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure integer's on, and I'm going to go 0. And I'm going to go ahead and do maximum 10. And I'm going to hit add. Now, you know what? We wanted to do add attribute to this guy. I'm sorry. So make sure that this is selected. Then go to modify, add attribute. And I'm going to go ahead and add the add attribute to my shelf. So there it is. And let's go ahead and name this toe underscore raise. And then I'm going to do integer 0 and 10. I'm going to hit apply. Or I'm going to go ahead and hit add. And so it should show up here. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. For my L foot controller, I'm just going to reload the driver. And you can see toe raise appears. I'm going to select toe raise. Select that main toe. Because remember, that's what we want to move our foot. And I want to load driven. And that rotation we're looking for is rotate Z. So right now rotate Z is set at 0, which is great. So let's go ahead and select that, and we're going to go ahead and key that. And it's okay because when you look here, toe raise and then rotate Z, we want toe raise to be set at 0. Alright, let's go ahead and move this as far as we think. I would almost go straight up and down. So something like this. I'm going to go ahead and change toe raise to 10. Let's go ahead and move that again. Let me hide my Leo model. It seems to be getting in the way. And I'm going to go ahead and set this like this. And I'm going to key that. So now when we move this back down to 0, you can see that we have that. We have a foot roll and we have a toe raise. Alright, I want to do one last thing in this video, and that's create pull vector handles so we could bend our knees. And then we'll stop the video. And for now, we're just going to use a foot roll, toe raise. Actually, we're going to do one more, and we want to edit the ball of our foot. So we want to actually do something like this, where we get a nice twist in the ball of our foot. So something like this. So let's go ahead and we have a foot roll, a toe raise, and then we're just going to do a ball rotate. Okay, so let's go to add attribute with that selected. Actually, we can just name it ball raise. Ball raise, integer 0, 10, hit add. Alright, and then we want to load driver, select ball raise. Select. Now notice I'm selecting the joint. I'm not selecting the controller here, or the reverse foot controller here. That is not what I'm selecting. Okay, so let's go ahead and select this here, and we want to load that as driven. Now the rotation on this right now, is 180, and that's okay. So we're looking to rotate Z, and let's go ahead and make sure this is the driver. Ball raise, select the ball of the foot, load driven, select rotate Z, key that out. Let's make this 10, select the ball of the foot, bend that up, and key that, and let's try that. Perfect. Alright, let's do one last thing and then we're done with this video. Let's create one more NURB circle. Actually, you know what we can do is we can create a NURBS sphere just for because it'll look kind of cool, and it'll help us keep track. So let's go to our front view, and I'm just going to line it up with the front of the knee. Let's go to our side view here. I'm going to hold V here and I'm going to snap it to the knee. Go to my front view, hit Control D, hold V down, snap it there, and let's go to perspective and move those forward. What I can do is select this, select the IK handle, and go to constraint and just select pull vector. What you'll notice now is we have a vector handle that'll rotate our knee. So again, I select this guy, then I select the IK handle, constrain pull vector. And there's one last thing we want to do, and we want to turn off visibility. So object display, we want to uncheck visibility. Let's do let's see, we want to do render stats. We want to do, actually I think we want to just uncheck all of this. It might be a little bit better so that when we render it, you can see it's not renderable. So let's check this guy and let's uncheck all of these. And the way I was able to bring this up is I hit Control A and it's under render status. So let's hit render again. You can see that neither of them are renderable, but we can still use them in our within our model. Alright, that's the end of this video.